One of the biggest Apple events of the year is officially set, and this year's WWDC is gonna be a big one for three major reasons. We're getting new software updates, we're getting new actual products, and also the guy that's gonna be the face of this event is likely set to be Apple's next CEO. Let me tell you everything you need to know, and also give a big thanks to Ugreen for sponsoring this video. Okay, so rumors of Tim Cook stepping down have been a thing for years and years now, but it finally seems like the end is near, and Tim is going to gracefully step away from Apple at some point this year and hand the reins over to likely this guy here named John Ternus. In fact, Mark Gurman over at Bloomberg just did a deep dive. He talked to some anonymous sources at Apple on what his reputation is like inside kind of the Apple walled garden, and here are the juicy cliff notes you need to know. Long story short, John Ternus is a pretty well-liked guy, and the best kind of explanation of him as a leader kind of comes down to this. If you would consider Steve Jobs a visionary and Tim Cook to be the logistics operational guru that we know him to be, then John Ternus, he's known as a real engineer. He knows how to get stuff done, and he really spent many, many years at Apple working on actually building the products, making the pieces come together, and kind of beyond the marketing hype, actually making sure stuff works. And these days, there are some cheeky little graphics that are done in this Bloomberg article. He's overseeing basically all of Apple's major departments these days, and also he is now kind of the head of the next level, kind of the next era of Apple devices in terms of home products, AI products, and robotics products that might be making an appearance soon. We're also learning a bit about some of his big decisions, the good and the bad inside of Apple, and how that could shape kind of what is to come, what we could actually be seeing in just a couple of months from now at WWDC. For example, we've heard that he was actually one of the big voices inside of Apple that complained that the iPad's hardware was too good and it was limited by the software. He was really the guy that convinced Craig and the software team to make iPadOS more powerful and to make it more bespoke than just a bigger version of the iPhone. We also heard, according to Bloomberg, that he was one of the few voices that was against Apple building a car, which turned out to be the right move. He thought it was just kind of a waste of time and resources. And also he was against Apple making a mixed reality headset like the Vision Pro, which we could argue kind of till the cows come home on the good and the bad of that decision. Those are the good of his decisions, though we have heard that some of his bad mistakes did include championing things like the touch bar and the butterfly keyboard, though he was one of the first voices to come in and axe those things when they didn't work and change direction quickly. And I feel like if that could kind of sum up what we're looking for from an Apple CEO, someone who not only can make the right calls, but when they do make mistakes, kind of figure them out quickly and then admit they were mistakes and pivot to something better, because he's got a lot of problems he's gonna have to fix on day one. With the biggest among them obviously being the whole AI problem and Apple Intelligence and how far behind Apple has gotten. And basically, to make a long story short, we're hearing that one of the big releases of this year for iOS 27 and what will be likely the star of the show at the WWDC event is going to be an all new set of Apple Intelligence features and an all new Siri. Now, stop me if you've heard this before, but the latest leaks and rumors say that Siri is going to be getting a lot more personal. It's going to be getting a lot smarter. It actually might be moving to a dedicated app that you can chat with. It also should have more of your personal context memorized, so it knows not just kind of your basic info, but more about you, destinations, family members, friends, things like that, and should just be a better, smarter overall assistant. Now, some of this is likely going to actually be done because Google and Apple are working together to put the brains behind Siri through Gemini, which should be much better than the mess currently going on right now. But also at the same time, I mean, I'll admit, as a mega Apple fan, it's a little hard to get excited about this stuff because this is the same spiel we've heard before. In fact, we heard about this 2 years ago with Apple Intelligence and all the new Siri stuff and this and that and the other thing that never really actually came to be. So as hopeful as I am that Apple is finally gonna get it right this year, and as exciting as the leaks and rumors sound, you can take it with a major grain of salt because we've heard this sung and danced before. Something else to keep on your radar for this June, as something we will likely not see any improvements to, unfortunately, is the whole iCloud Drive situation, and really iCloud in general, as yes, the 5 GB base storage limit is still sticking around and is kind of a cruel joke in 2026. And I feel like a lot of people are just beyond upset with that whole situation. There is a much better solution, and that is to easily kind of build your own cloud and do this all yourself in a really easy way, thanks to this video sponsor, Ugreen. I was so excited when they reached out and sent me over one of their latest and greatest NAS systems to check out. And in addition to this thing being kind of the home hub for all of your files, photos, and videos, this also makes your files available anywhere and everywhere in the world on any of your devices safely and securely, but also adds a ton of other new features that you just wouldn't otherwise be able to have access to. You basically just load this thing up with drives of your choice. Up to 120 terabytes are supported here, and then you go through the really simple kind of setup wizard, and then you're done. You can actually really easily sync this drive array with Google Drive if you want to have files kind of sunk back and forth for safety and security. And also there are some really easy ways like Time Machine to back up your entire Mac to this thing, and also some really easy ways to sync your entire photo library from your Apple device to the NAS as well. And for my fellow techie and network nerds out there, you will appreciate some other features here, like the fact that there is a 2.5 gigabit port on here, so you're gonna get those faster local network transfer speeds. They've got a lot of great software and also AI smarts, and the AI models are actually running locally here, so no internet connection required. And those AI smarts can be super useful if you dump a bunch of photos and videos into the system and you want to easily identify places and people. And again, getting started is super simple, literally as simple as just tapping your phone to the front of this thing. There's some built-in NFC tech. It'll prompt you to open up the page on your phone. You download the app, and in a couple of taps, you're up and running and good to go. So if you're just tired of being locked into an ecosystem or locked into a scamscription or, excuse me, a never-ending subscription of paying money just to keep your files stored and accessible on the internet, and you're looking for a really easy way to basically make your own cloud and do this yourself, Ugreen has got a number of really amazing solutions. Plus there is a world backup discount where you can save for a limited time as well. So again, learn more, build your own cloud, ditch the subscriptions, and unlock some really great new features with a UgreenNAS. The link right down below in the description. Something else you've heard about before is that some years are big years and some years are not so big years. And if last year was a big year with liquid glass and the big renaming to iOS 26 and all that stuff, then, well, don't expect that this year, as it'll be a smaller year. It's more of a snow leopard year, so to speak, for those who catch that reference. It's more a year of squashing bugs and refinements and improvements. It's not a year of no new features, as Apple Intelligence should bring a bunch of new features to iPadOS, macOS, iPhone OS, which I guess those are the wrong names now. Whatever, iOS, blah, 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 whatever the iOS 27 is gonna be, whatever the official name is, those will be getting a lot of new features. And besides all that stuff, I'm sure there will be some good quality of life things, but unlike new phones, Apple software typically leaks a lot less. So we will get a couple of little things likely before the event, but Apple can usually keep this stuff under wraps, so we don't know too much on the details, but just don't expect anything shockingly big for all of the updates to come this year. Yes, we will get updates, but don't expect any major redesign. Now, something that's always been a wild card at this June event has been new hardware. Sometimes we get new products, sometimes we don't. Sometimes Apple reveals one of their biggest, most top secret products ever. And this year is shaping up to be kind of a mixed bag of things we could be getting or we could not be. Like I alluded to a moment ago, John Turnus right now is overseeing one of Apple's most secretive new projects, which is some new home robotic company that basically Apple's looking to do a lot of new things, including a new smart home hub in the form of an iPad smashed in with a HomePod with an articulating display. We've heard this thing is actually kind of ready, and the big holdup has been Apple Intelligence, so maybe if they can get this thing right in June, we could at least get a preview at WWDC of what this thing is actually going to be and how it works. And then one other wild card in terms of hardware is we've heard an iMac Pro could be making a bit of a resurgence and a comeback with an Apple Silicon twist. So a couple couple of things to have on the radar as wild cards. All right, so that is what we know about WWDC so far this year. Let me know your thoughts down below. Are you looking forward to it? What do you think about John Turnus? Do you think this is Apple heading in the good direction, the wrong direction? What would you like to see in iOS 27? Drop a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Appreciate you guys as always. Thank you so much. I am Robert Rosenfeld, and I'll see you guys in the next one.